Hey everybody, my name is James Lantite. What?
We're missing something.
What are we missing? Microphones.
Yeah.
We are high tech today.
We are.
Very high tech.
We ditched the mic stands.
Well, we didn't really. They're sitting off onto the side.
Yeah, that's true. Technically accurate.
If it makes you feel better.
It makes it does. Oddly enough, they're there. I feel like they're there for comfort.
Yes, they are.
Posterity.
Yeah. So we're gonna do we'll do the late night TV show host thing where we have like one mic sitting on the desk that does absolutely nothing.
Again, for posterity.
Absolutely.
It just makes people believe that, it's a full production.
There you go.
Here.
So anyways, we are... Okay, kind of not what I had in mind, but okay. So it needs to be like that. So we are back with Magic Talk. My name is James Lantine. I got Joshua over here to my right. And we got the Joshua stunt double over here on my left. Right?
Sure.
You were the stunt double the other day.
I was. That's right.
Yeah.
Stand in.
Filling in while I was trying to go to the doctor for my eyes.
Yes, because he didn't want to be blind. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about our respecting the craft, as well as we got some trick reviews to do for you, some out of the hat stuff, and we're going to talk about Greg Alexander's future castle update. Because even the last show, things have evolved.
They have actually.
They have.
Mm-hmm.
We got more juicy news.
Yeah. So we'll be right back after this.
Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
The art of magic is mystery, majesty, pageantry, and craft. It's also about history, marketing, networking, and more. All of these topics and others are discussed on Magic Talk with your hosts, renowned magician James Lantine and owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop, Joshua Lantine. Now on Rough Edge FM.
And Gregory Alexander. Like that?
Yeah, that sounded good.
Here's Gregory.
Hi.
Did that play out?
Yeah.
Do you feel naked without having something in front of you? You're just kind of like sitting
No,
there like...
I feel all right. I feel
Yeah?
pretty good. Yeah, it's
I
nice.
like the sensation that you
Feel
naked.
unencumbered.
I'm kind of like sitting up here like,
Yeah.
well, gentlemen, thank you for coming to the table. So would you please give me your dispute?
Dispute. I still don't know what the heck we're talking about. That's my dispute.
And how do you feel exactly about that?
I concur.
Is there any way we can bring the two of you to terms?
Expressly.
Okay. I'm a moderator, mediator. One of those two. Anyway, so we got a great show planned out for you. We are going to talk a little bit about a new group that has been established on Facebook called Respecting the Craft.
Gosh, who made that group? I forget.
That would be us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So if you haven't been following along, we actually put out a video about revealing the secrets to magic, where I was going to do a big reveal. That is up to almost 2,000 views now. Essentially, the fact is, as far as Respecting the Craft is about, it's just about people who are kind of fed up with all the reveals, and people who want to really dive into the crux of magic as far as what it does through development, how it impacts our communities, how it can help in childhood development, all that kind of stuff, to really bring respect to the craft, because it's not just a guy getting up on stage doing a bunch of tricks and going, "Ha, look at me." I know we're not going to stop people.
Sometimes it's that, but we're not about that.
Well,
just-
sometimes, yeah.
You can be about that sometimes. It's all about balance, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that better.
Right?
Balance.
You got to perform your craft as well, but it's not just all about that performance, really. It's the stuff
No.
that goes behind it, right?
Yeah,
all
and
that
that-
effort and work and all that creativity to build that moment of magic.
Right. And I mean, you have a perfect example, which we're going to talk about when we talk about your audition coming up with the castle, and how that whole thing has evolved.
Absolutely.
And what went behind there to even get to where you are, And I think so many people like there are people in the world, which I know there are a lot of them where there are some people who just don't like magic because they say it makes you feel stupid, which is not what the craft is about. Craft is not about making anyone feeling stupid.
No, the professor even went and advocated for not making your audience feel stupid.
Exactly. Yeah.
We
the
know
way that-
firsthand. There's Howard Hamburg tells stories all the time. How I would say, don't ever make your audience feel stupid, because the
Right.
second you go and you do one of those sucker tricks, it's always like, "Hey, stupid, you didn't know how that was done."
Right.
And you don't want that. It's not good for you. It's not good for the people.
Yeah, and there are people who are like, "Oh, magic is good for the kids," and and it is. There are a lot of kid magicians out there that are doing very well, and they're very entertaining, and yeah, it is for the kids. But magic is so much broader than those things, and that's what Respecting the Craft is all about.
Love it.
The part of my mission that I've kind of taken on as far as doing the video and saying I'm going to be doing this big reveal, stay tuned, and then I talk about the reveal being that the secret to magic is bringing out that inner child and just simply believing. Part of my thing is to, obviously I'm not going to convince magicians not to reveal that are going online, which I don't necessarily call them magicians. We're not going to convince them to not do it. They're getting a lot of clicks. They're getting paid a lot of money. But what I'm hoping to do is to reach the people that are going to watch those videos to say, you really don't want to. I mean, part of the thrill of magic is go, oh, how did he do that? How did he do that? But in reality, you really don't want to know, because once you know, you're not watching the trick anymore. You're just, oh, it's like, okay, yeah, so he's got this going on or he's got that going on. Oh, okay, that was entertaining, big, but it takes away a very important part of what creates that wonder in magic. And part of the wonder is, ooh, how could he flying? I'm looking at him right now and he's flying. Well, if you know how he's flying, you're not looking at it like with that childlike, whoa, I always wanted to fly. Now you're just going, yeah, okay, big deal. So part of my mission is to convince people that, yes, there are people out there doing this, but you really don't want to know. Keep that enjoyment, keep that childlike person that's buried inside of you and let them out every so often.
Well, because the real secret goes beyond the method,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
right? So it's the experience.
Yeah.
You want to suspend your belief in reality for just a moment and find yourself believing that the impossible just happened right in front of me.
Right.
And that's exciting. I mean, when I see something truly impossible, I think, oh my God, how the heck?
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's like this little kid comes out inside of you and you're kind of like, sorry, that was creepy.
Every time.
I'm glad there's self-awareness. We're not having to convince somebody else of another, for instance.
Yeah. We're going to be doing some fun little videos where Josh is going to be coming out and going, Dad, really? You're scaring me.
It's weird. You need to stop.
And they'll actually be natural because that is truly what happens most of the time. So anyway, you can join Respecting the Craft. It's a private group, provided that you have an affiliation with some magic organization. And we will also vet you to see whether or not there are any trick reveals out under your name. If there are any reveals, you will be banned from the club.
If you have disrespected the craft, you can't go on to the group on Facebook, on other social media sites that say you're respecting the craft.
That's
And
right.
You kind of have to do the first one before the second one can happen.
You can only do one or the other. You can't be in both. And also, we will be doing reviews on that site that are a little less candid, so we can be a little bit more direct in how we do the reviews. So in a little bit, Greg is going to be reviewing Demideck. And so during that review, it's obviously going to have to be very candid about how he talks about it. In Respecting the Craft, we'll be a little bit more open in how we do that. So stay tuned for that.
And for the working magician, that would help them really understand what they're getting themselves into before they make something like a big purchase, right?
Right.
Where you would expect them, because it.
Yeah, it'll give them a little bit more information.
Yeah.
And now the one thing we're going to be doing is, as part of respecting the craft, we're also going to respect the creator. We're not going to like destroy the creator.
No.
Even if if it's not that great, we're not going to be like, oh, everything this guy does sucks. Don't buy his stuff. It's
We'll
it will
treat
be
it.
done in a respectful way.
We'll treat it with the Jonathan Gold touch. You know him?
Yes.
The restaurant reviewer.
Oh,
You don't know him.
enlighten me.
Okay, so he was a really famous restaurant reviewer that was actually very popular on TV. And anytime he would go to a restaurant to review them, he would go and make sure that his review was good. It was going to bolster them. It's going to make them, bring them up. If it was a restaurant that he didn't have anything nice to say about for them, he wouldn't write the review. Because his
Okay.
whole philosophy was, I'm not out to go and destroy a family business. I'm out to just go and bring light to people who deserve it. So
And
if you don't deserve it, I'm just not going to say nothing.
Well, we might say something like, "Oh, it's a craft project," but
Well, yes, craft projects aren't bad, though, even though we hate
we don't like it.
craft. No, craft projects. We didn't buy something to go and do a craft project. It's not a Lego set. We bought something to perform it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's like one of my big pet peeves is you go out and you buy a magic trick and you open it up and you realize you got to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, seriously? Anyway,
Think of how much you learn when you do that.
is that what you're going with?
He's on that side of the table. We got the one counter argument.
Yeah, we gotta have a balance, right? Yeah. So, all right, we are going to jump into Out of the Hat. And while we're jumping into Out of the Hat, Josh, you got to do a little research.
I got to do a little research.
Yeah.
What am I researching?
What's the name of the trick? It's like the temple. Anyways, let's go to Out of
And
the Hat.
now it's time for Out of the Hat. Here on Magic Talk with James Lantine.
Magic Makers.
Okay.
Now it's time for Out of
All
the
right. It is. It's time for Out of the Hat. We're looping. So Out of the Hat, how's this for a little four score?
I knew we would be wearing top hats today. I knew it.
Would you like your own top hat?
No. Yours is enough for all of us.
His can't mess up his hair. It's already,
I know.
It's already
It does look very good.
Thank you.
So, did you like shave in that line?
No.
No.
Nope.
Wow.
Just comb it on in.
It's like perfect.
Thanks.
All right. So, today's Out of the Hat is the little temple. You're going to look it up?
Well, I mean, I need a phone. I was patting your
Oh.
leg to see if you had your phone this time.
Okay. Oh, you were patting my leg?
Yeah.
I
You
had
have
no
no
idea.
It
feeling.
wasn't me, Jim.
I had no idea.
Usually your phone's right on you and not on silent too.
So this is it's a cute. It's made out of wood. It's pretty nicely made.
It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah. They don't have these anymore. In fact, the company that we got them from, they found a batch of them sitting in their back room, and so we ended up buying the whole batch. This is like giving me a headache. I have a ring around my head now. But maybe we should put Trump in that. Oh, my wife just gave me the axe. No politics. So
I picked the wrong deck of cards to
Yeah.
review for no
guess-
politics.
I guess you did. So it's a nicely crafted wooden box.
Called the Magic Temple.
It's called the Magic Temple. And what does the Magic Temple sell for?
It sells for $79.
$79. And again,
What does the Magic Temple do?
You are not going to be able to find these anywhere.
I believe
other than at White Rabbit Magic.
yes. This is what the vendor we did get this from was Magic Makers.
Yes.
Unfortunately they don't have it anymore, but it's
but
fun.
fortunately, you guys do.
Yes.
But fortunately, we do. And it comes in actually a nice little packaging box too and stuff like that. But
Is it set?
you could vanish sponge balls. Or imaginary vanish.
Where'd they go?
Take an imaginary sponge ball, place them into
One.
your hand.
2, 3, 4.
Say the magic words.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, and then poof, the 4 sponge balls magically appear inside the temple.
I did squeeze them too hard. That's why they look like this.
Yeah, they're a little
That's-
squeezed out.
Yeah.
Josh
These
gets
are-
excited.
These are very old sponge balls.
They're a bit tired.
Yeah, they're tired, and they're also the stiff ones too. So they don't
Not the
have a lot of-
Goshmans?
No, they don't have a lot of bounce to them.
Gotta get the Goshmans.
But this is the temple, and again, it is very nicely, beautifully made.
I like the
It's a very fast action.
yes.
So
Is the
How much?
action behind appearing is pretty much only good for sponge balls or something with a spring action
kind of a
behind
spring
it.
effect, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I like the red.
you could
I like the contrast
you
behind
could
it.
You could cover it if you wanted to.
Could.
And how much
do
was
you
that?
mean? It was
What is
79.
Cover it with silk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
79.
And you don't have to take the top off either.
No.
You can leave the top on.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. So $79. Check it out at White Rabbit Magic, wr-magic.com.
It is called the Magic Temple.
The Magic Temple.
I'm gonna say the name, or else they're gonna look and they're gonna say, "Where the heck is this trick?" They said that it's there on the website, and I can't seem to find it. The reason being, you didn't give them a name. You got to give them the name.
Did we? I thought we gave it.
We covered it.
Yeah. Okay. So Greg is about to embark on a very special journey, stressful one,
A little bit.
a little stressful.
I'd say more exciting than stressful.
Good.
I'm more excited than stressful.
That's
He's got a
what-
good attitude behind it.
that's
which
how
is
you
nice.
should choose to look at something that's stressful, that is exciting, not nerve-wracking.
So that's
I'm
what those
grateful.
nerves-
I'm very grateful.
Like some people would be like, "Ugh," but not you.
I'm trying to resist the
I'm
urge.
trying to. I don't want to plant.
Trying to
anything in
resist
your
the urge.
I know. So there's a trick that you came up with. We we sell it, and it was called. What was the name of that block?
Industrial Revelation.
That's your block.
Oh,
my
that
bad,
one
my
is
bad.
called
It's like an eye or
Impact.
impact or something like that. There's several different makers of that kind of an
Yes.
effect. But the one you got was Industrial Revolution. And so talk a little bit about that journey, because where the trick started to where the trick is now,
So
it
yeah.
went on a pretty good journey.
So first of all, this Matchbox, we'll just call it Matchbox penetration, is like early '90s effect. I've always loved it. It's something that to me was always magical. Some people may think it's basic, but it always fooled me until I actually purchased it and learned how to do it. So that's something that I've always been attracted to. When I found out about Industrial Revelation, I thought that was amazing, so I got it. And then Theory 11 recently came out with some Superman playing cards. And so me with my cleverness thinking, oh wait, Superman's the Man of Steel. And I have this steel block. Why not combine the idea and, turning the steel block and, Clark Kent and Superman. However, for me, it wasn't that exciting to present because I'm not that big of a Superman person, and I like my magic to have like a particular message behind it. And so at first I wasn't that excited.
Message as far as like meaningful.
Correct.
So something that might inspire.
Correct.
somebody.
So when I get an opportunity to perform for people, I always want to try to plant some sort of a seed that everybody has the ability to do their own magic every day, on a small scale or a large scale, whatever you believe. And so all the pieces I choose, I want to at least say that in some way. And having the deck be related to Superman for me wasn't saying that exactly. But then a friend of mine, another magician, Miggs, he clued me on to some scripting from actually Kill Bill, where he's talking about Superman at the end of the movie. And it really resonated with me. And then that kind of started to build and evolve the routine. And then showing it to you, spending time with you, we started riffing and coming up with all kinds of more ideas to evolve it even further. So now there's a card switch involved where the card's actually changing into kryptonite. and kryptonite is a weakness, and we all have our weaknesses. Kryptonite being Superman's weakness, and now we're also making the weakness vanish using some card manipulation. So now what was just a penetration effect is now becoming, it's just evolving into this beautiful routine.
There are literally probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 magical moments
Yeah,
in that.
yeah, and so it's really expanding. And now we made a custom kryptonite card. I had to strip the face off of a Superman card. Jim's clever enough. We printed a piece of kryptonite onto a card now.
By the way, explain how you stripped the face off of a playing card, because that strip enabled us to be able to run that card through a printer and actually print on it.
Right.
So what did you do?
So you gotta, I erased it, right? So I actually used an eraser to erase the pips, and then you use some alcohol to remove the finish on the card. You could use acetone. I just had the alcohol available to me. So you do have to get the right eraser. As weird as that sounds, there's a variety of different erasers. So you got to kind of experiment and find the right one that doesn't mark or stain. But yeah, you just took some time and some effort, taped the card down so it doesn't bend, erased the pips, cleared off the finish with some alcohol, and then Printmaster Jim over here, Printmaster Jim over here was able to get an awesome kryptonite image that we were able to get onto that card. And I even made another gimmicked card so I could do a vanishing deck. It's really cool. Now we're incorporated a magic wand into the effect as well.
Yep.
Right, because we wanted to have a moment where usually you drop the steel block and prove that it's hard, but I do it standing with no real table around. So now we incorporated a wand with some brass tips so I can actually smack on it and you can really hear that it's metal now and everything as well.
Right.
So it's
And
really
so
building.
what was now a deck, all of a sudden it's like clink, 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 clink. What?
What? What is
So-
going on?
Yeah, and one of the things that that's really cool about it is, like you said, I mean, there's all these little moments, but then you also incorporated with, which I'm not even sure what the name of this device is. You'll have to kind of enlighten me on that one. But you have some readers that are actually cueing in music based on you picking up these different devices. So
That is correct.
there's no button switch there. I mean, nothing. It's
Yeah, so all the music is programmed with RFID tags and all of my props are tagged. So now as soon as I pick up the prop, I have a reader that scans it and the music will instantly play. One of the challenges with this trick is with the steel block, I cannot tag a steel block because the metal interferes with the read. So I was actually trying to come up with some clever ways to trigger the music, and that's another way that wand really comes into play, because now I can actually tag the wand on both ends, mind you, and trigger 2 different music cues with that same wand now.
yeah.
You said they have metal tips, right?
Correct.
And those metal tips don't interfere?
They do. I have to put it on the wood.
Ah,
Yeah,
there you
I,
go.
So
I,
even the metal
even
tip-
the metal
Ah.
tips.
That must
So
be disrupting some way.
It's been
the,
pretty. It's been fun. So it's a simple. It can be a simple system, but then there's nothing's perfect. But now no buttons, no nothing. I just pick it
So
up
what
and it
is,
goes.
what's the name of the system?
It's called Solo, the Solo Show Controller. Really, really awesome.
And it uses RFIDs.
Tag-based
And
system.
Literally, you could have a prop, and if you had the reader in your front pocket or in your side pocket, you just bring the prop.
Or
into
you
the
could put
pocket.
it under a table and just drag it
And
across
just
your
drag it.
table if you're at a table all the time, or into a book, or be very clever about where you put it.
One reader, or can you use?
You could use
readers?
multiple. So if all 3 of us are doing a show, you could pick up a prop and it will trigger the music for you, and all 3 of us will get a signal that music is about to trigger as well, with some haptic feedback on the system. So
That's amazing.
it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
pricey?
It was pricey. It was,
Yeah.
and it's not perfect because I had some trouble with it the last show, but it was all my fault with it.
Right.
Trying to mess with it, but
Nice.
It does sound really cool to eliminate the other types of cue switchers that they have on the market.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to
Well,
do
yeah.
it with a toe switch, or you don't have to go and fuss with something on your jacket.
looks like you're playing in your pocket or
yeah,
something.
like
and-
that. Because
Well-
or just like going and constantly tapping your legs somewhere. I feel like that would really help to bring something into the more natural realm.
Well, you'll
And
see on
and
Friday.
We'll
And if
find out.
if I remember correctly, normally on the buttons, it's going from one cue to the next.
Correct.
They're all
One
queued
right
up.
after the other.
This will play whatever
Whatever you
song
pick up at
have.
whatever time.
So
if you decide, oh, you know what, my opener would actually work better as a closer. Or let's say, you know, like with me and Molo, we have very similar magic styles. So if we show up and he's doing the same trick as me, I just don't do the trick and put something else there, and that other music will cue, and that music is, you don't have to do any adjusting to the playlist whatsoever.
And where do
That's
you
really
get
cool.
this device?
Right now, just online. I got it at Magic Live. I bought it at a convention.
Which company?
It's called Solo Show. Or Solo.
the name of the company?
Solo, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Okay.
have to go and talk to them and see if we can start carrying that at White Rabbit.
Oh, that could be great.
That's useful. That's
Yeah,
just-
no, that sounds great.
Forget the magic. That's just useful. Period. Heck.
Yeah, I mean, that could be used in
You could trigger video cues, audio cues, pictures, images, all that stuff. You
Oh,
go
yeah.
to a website,
So videos as well.
videos as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, now you
very
just
cool.
said, I'm already sold. You
I'm
don't
very
have to
excited.
go
I'm
and
very
put it
excited
in
to
my
grow
hands.
into the system and really learn
Yeah.
how to use it well.
Yeah, because when we do our bigger show, we actually have TVs because we story tell about some of the things, and one of them is Harry Blackstone Jr. about going to see his show, and I actually have a video clip that comes up with Harry Blackstone Jr.
Yep.
in
It
the
would
show.
Yep. It would trigger all that.
Yeah, and so boy, to have something like that just nice. But poor magic shop owners, I don't think can afford those things.
Yeah. I understood.
No, if multiple people had the same device, then you could actually pair up those devices. They don't all have to be yours, right? If I came in and I
Correct.
said, "Oh, I got one too,"
Yeah. We could link them and
We could link
put them
them
to the
together.
same show and everything. Yeah. And also, by the way, your show all saves to a cloud, right? So you can sign into a device and immediately have access to your show. So if I lose my iPad or my phone or something, I can sign into any device in a theater, access my account, and immediately upload the show.
Wow,
Nice.
that's cool. All right, so
All right. Thank you for coming. We are sold.
Yeah.
We'll take 20.
You got it. Yes, sir.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. So we are going to be doing the item of the week.
Is it good? Should I buy it? Does it suck? Did I get ripped off? Is it more of a craft project than a magic trick? These questions and more answered now on the Magic Item of the Week here on Magic Talk.
All right, so magic item of the week is going to be Demi Deck. I believe we might have done something with this a long time ago when it first came out, but
We talked about it a lot.
I
because
don't know that we actually had the product though.
we did not. That was the big thing that we were talking about. Is
Oh,
that
you were waiting for it to come, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was sold out when it first
Yeah.
got dropped,
We
right?
kept-
Yeah, and we waited months for it to
God, yeah.
actually come
It
out.
took
a great effect.
forever. One, because they needed to go and take all the product back and say, hey, we need to fix this one thing. And then they had another delay because it went out to everybody. And then they took all of them. And then we had another delay because the back order didn't quite come in.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
yeah, and I mean, the manufacturing of this looks like it would be time consuming.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
a bit
Greg,
going on with it.
you actually use this.
I do,
and
yeah.
you
I
did
just
a video.
posted. I just posted a reel on my IG, Artistic Deceptions. Check it out. But yeah, it's a great effect. It's essentially a card box. I mean, a card case,
Yeah.
right? You're able to cut a deck of cards in half. You kind of bring the magic of a stage to a more close-up setting, which is really cool.
Can you demo it?
We could try to demo it right now. We'll see how it goes. One of the things with this particular effect is you do want to worry about angles.
It is a tad angle sensitive, but when you have the correct angle, or your people are working off of the correct angle, it's really cool how deceptive it is.
So it's a card box, and you have this very, very sharp and dangerous
Ooh.
blade here, right? Oh,
So we are projecting overhead right now. So-
right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to. 30 minutes. Okay, so take our cards.
Boy, I don't know if that's in poor taste. We're gonna go and cut the presidents in half.
Yeah, I know. So
When
you
you
can
do the
actually
first
see
time.
the deck.
So yeah, you
from
can
the tip.
you can actually see the deck. I'm not sure how well this is going to look from an above. I'm going to try to like
Well,
adjust my
let's
hand.
go to the front camera if you want.
Okay, cool. That sounds
And,
good. Let's do the front camera.
And Julie, let's go ahead and drop. How much is Demi Deck, Mrs. Producer? $70. Okay, you can get that at White Rabbit. So, all right. So let's do it from the front camera here.
Let's see how well we can get it to look here. Go here, boom. Doesn't wanna.
Is ours not broken in?
I guess yours is kind of weird. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. So I'm gonna go here, cut the deck in half. Not
Okay,
sure how good that looks
see
in the
the
camera.
opening?
I'm gonna go back here, just like that. You can see all the cards are normal. Boom.
And I think with this specifically, they do have other cards involved with it where you can show a card being cut in half.
Absolutely.
And you reverse it.
Check my video.
That's really
He
fun.
does it in the video, and,
Yeah.
and you reverse it. So when the cards come out of the box or out of the case,
Yeah, one card is
half of
actually
it's- half's up, half's down,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So really well worth it. I think the thing is really nicely made. It's obviously nicely packaged.
some people have come to me and saying that they feel concerned about the angle or about when you know how it's done. They feel like you're very guilty because you think, oh,
Guilty magician.
there's no way that I can get away with this. But it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
No,
Right?
you just guard the angle a little bit, and don't be afraid of it. If you're sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
and you're paranoid about it, you're going to be like,
I think it has a 180 or at least a
well,
good.
yeah, maybe.
Well, depending on your hand, if you're performing the trick left-handed, like I typically do, because I manipulate with my right hand, I would say you're a little bit more dangerous to your right than anywhere, because you can kind of use a little bit more to. But
So as a left-handed magician, card magician, I struggled with it a little bit.
because the way it hinges, probably right, because
yeah.
you want to go this way.
Right. So it does favor, I think, right-handed people.
What doesn't in the world, Jim?
I know, but I do believe they actually mentioned something about left-handed handling.
Oh, is that right?
I believe they
Interesting.
did. Yeah.
This one, since Murphy's did take it over, this one has been. They've covered all angles as far as how to go and operate it.
I like the original box better, though, to be honest with you. They had a lot of a really cool design on it. And this one here, so far, when I've seen this with other people that don't know what this is, they think that this is what it's going to look like. And they get very intrigued.
Yeah.
They get very intrigued by this picture, as do I. And if I didn't know what this was, I'd be like, man, that looks like a great effect. And then if I were to get this and open it and it was a leather card box, I would be like,
Little false advertising.
I feel like I just got.
in case you
ripped
can't
off.
quite see, it's a cool, like, old-fashioned kind of French
And
guillotine type
you can
of
see it on
situation.
the picture that's down below.
But
Right,
that's my only gripe with the new packaging.
right there. You can see it right there. And yeah, it does. It is very deceiving because when I first saw that, I thought, "Well, that's cool."
Exactly, but that's not
And,
what it is.
No. But you know what?
Hey!
You know what? Somebody should come up with a version like that.
They should.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So there you go. All right.
Oh, a vice guillotine, because that looks like a vice to me.
Yeah, it does. It's like a card vice with a. That's made out of
Actually, be
guillotine.
even more deceptive, man, because you'd actually see the tops of the cards and everything and have it cut. You figure that out. Angelo, let's go. Get on
Can you
it.
imagine if it cut down and then you were actually able
That's
to?
what I'm saying.
Oh,
You're
that
right.
would
It'd be good.
Sweet.
We'll get there someday.
Yeah.
All made
So
out of
the
wood
thought
with
is
the
in the
brass pieces and
universe.
everything. Look really good.
Wow.
The thought is in the universe now, so it's going to happen someday.
We got
It
this.
will. Anybody can. There's people out there that can make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, great. So let me see. One of the things that we were talking about respecting the craft. With your style of magic, you said that you like to kind of leave people with a message.
Hopefully, that's what I try to do. Whether I succeed or not but it seems to happen more often than not.
Now, would you say that you are pretty much more of a straight man versus?
Where's this going, Jim? I'm not going on any dates. Look, you're nice, Jim.
We're friends, but we're going to keep that boundary right about there.
Sorry, Jonathan. So would you say you're more of a serious type performer or a comedic? Comedic.
It seems to tend to be a mixture of both. When I imagine my effects, I always kind of imagine it more serious. But when I try to do more serious magic, it never quite lands right because my natural self is more goofy. You know, I tend to be a little bit more on the silly side, and when things are serious, I'm kind of the one that tries to break the tension with humor. So I'm trying to find that balance of, you know, maybe bringing it in a little more serious and when I'm saying those messages, but then bring back the levity when I'm not. But typically, I mean, you've seen me perform a few times. I typically am on the little bit more of the light side, I would say, right? As opposed to serious.
When you do some of your mentalist type, tarot card type stuff,
That's a little more serious.
it's a little bit more on the serious side, and but even I would say your humor, even though you're kind of lighthearted, you when you stand there, like the cell phone it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though there's comedy in it, like, oh, forgot to shut off your cell phone, you play it kind of like,
More natural or more
I
like
was gonna
serious?
say like a straight man, but
Well, I'm glad, Jim.
you play it like it's almost like it's almost like the Abbott and Costello thing where, you know, he's trying to be serious, but he ends up kind of being a goof,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
I just thought about your girlfriend when that came up. Like, I'm sure she would appreciate him being a straight man.
that's what it used to be called in our day.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know.
The straight man. I get you.
By the way, your mic
His
is backwards.
age.
I should have told you.
Whoops.
It's on the inside, but that's okay.
Yeah.
His age is showing in this episode.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get. As he manipulates his mic. Good. Hey, that looks great. So when you deliver the message, it's obviously done in kind of a straight way. Or, all right,
Serious.
I'm trying to get out of my head, but I mean that's where my head goes. Is that, you know, it's not the comedy, but you're trying to be in a sincere
That's a good
way.
word.
Yeah.
Sincere,
for sure.
serious.
More sincere,
when you
yeah.
deliver it. Yeah.
Sincere and serious.
So, but no, I like the messages that you kind of relay. There's one that I do with Grandma's miracles with the beads, and I talk about how they used to be up here, but they are not. But I talk about are they there?
No.
Oh, that was Grandpa's jewels.
Those don't work anymore.
That's where the show's gone. Okay, Julie, are there any comments by the way? Okay, I thought there might be a few where people are like, "That's it, I'm not gonna."
Everyone's just intently listening.
yeah.
Or they're going and recording to go and get all the dirt.
Yeah. So with Grandma's Miracles, there's 3 beads, and I talk about how I put a bead in the center and then I tie it off, and I talk about how when people try to work outside of the box, there's so many people that come up to a challenge or there's a block in the road, and a lot of people just stop at that point and they never try to jump over the wall or the block. And people always say that if you jump over the fire, success is on the other side. And so I put one bead over here representing the person, and I put the other bead over here representing success, and the center bead is tied off representing the fire. And then I pull on the cords, and that center bead falls off, and now you're able to greet success. So,
I love it. I love it.
So there's
love
some things like that. As much as I am more on the comic side, there's those nice little heartwarming messages every so often. So, Josh, you like Magician in Trouble.
I am not. I'm not a real magician. Actually, I don't do magic. I watch magic happen,
Okay.
and most of my audience does magic for me.
Cool. And so that's kind of the style you're after.
I tend to be like that, and the Magicians in Trouble thing. I like that a lot too, but I like to have things go out of my hands and into somebody else's, as far as I am doing a card trick, and then I'm not the one making the magic happen. They're the one making the magic happen.
Right. So you're kind of
Or I've done
experiencing
something to screw it up, and then this gets fixed again.
it picks that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And I found that with me, there are times where I try to be more on the dramatic side, and I always seem to fall on my face. So you really got to stay in your zone
And find what that is,
and
yeah.
find what works.
So
for you.
it's one thing I'm noticing about myself, especially the magic I'm really like attracted to, and I kind of in my mind would like aspire to perform. Might not necessarily be within my wheelhouse or like
Yeah.
what actually fits for my character successfully. So it's like
Right. You
You
see
know.
it and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And then you do it and it's like, yeah, that's not anything like I planned.
yeah, no, that's not what I like to look at. No,
Yeah.
we're good on that.
It's got to feel natural, basically, right? What you guys are trying to say?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, just make it feel natural.
And it's got to fit within your
Yeah,
character.
that natural, and you got to have some awareness.
Yeah.
And be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be honest. Look at yourself and have that awareness. Does this look like it really? Does this fit? Are you really pulling this off? And have that
Are you
honesty.
trying to force it?
And have that honesty with yourself. And if not, still love it and appreciate it. But move on to what fits.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be said about a lot of magicians as they grow older as well. And they have their particular routines that they've been doing, and they always do it this particular way. And it's always been successful when I've been doing it for the past 30 years. Yeah, but
Right.
maybe you're not as you were 30 years ago.
Right.
And maybe you got to adjust your routine to fit that. It's the same.
Right.
It's a similar thing. Got to have that awareness.
Right. Yeah, and I think, like you said, honesty is the best thing. Is if you look at it with open eyes and a sincere heart.
Absolutely.
So,
And it's not easy to do.
but all right, we are going to jump on to Playing Cards Anonymous.
There is an outbreak among us. It is limited to only a small portion of our population. They have a sickness. They have an addiction. They collect bicycle playing cards, which is bad for them, but great for us because we have almost 500 decks of playing cards to choose from. They'll go crazy in here. They'll spend every last penny they... This is their story. This is Playing Cards Anonymous. Here on
Yes, it
Magic
is.
Talk.
That's right. Playing Cards Anonymous on
Let's
Magic
go.
Talk. And as always, Joshua, that's your segment. And go.
I have that much time to talk about these cards?
Oh, that was a mistake.
That is so.
Oh, hold on. Turn it over one more time now.
There you go. Okay.
Now go. There we go.
And
That was actually a lot more.
All right, so what we have here is the presidential playing cards by this
in
is
honor of the
well for today is that, but this is the collectibleplayingcards.com. They created this deck, and it is a deck of cards that is everything is featured on this.
So
right
let's
ahead.
let's go do that right overhead, and let's clear that picture out if you want.
Okay, so all these cards are illustrated, every single one, even the number pips. And
they
they
all have
had a
presidents.
president on it. The queens obviously have the first ladies.
So the queens do not have there's no straight things on the queens. These are queens.
So yeah, so every card.
Sometimes they just don't land.
Okay, that awareness that you were talking about, that's I think
Yeah.
a good one.
I'm looking at the queens.
Okay, those are all the first ladies.
Okay.
At least the ones of note, apparently.
Right.
So
So-
not every single first lady is represented here.
Dolly Madison, Eleanor Roosevelt, Jackie Kennedy, and
Oh, did you go over to this side?
Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Who, by the way, wanted to be a king, but she's a queen.
That's true. What have I done? Now, actually, with these cards, as far as a deck of cards is concerned, they are really,
They got a great feel to them.
they do. They're really nice. And I like the Jokers. They're not identical Jokers, but they're close. They have a really good reveal on one of them. Uncle Sam is going and holding up, it looks like the Six of Hearts.
Yes.
And then the other side, he's saying, I want you to pick a card.
The other side is my wife going, Jim. I'm getting the finger. Actually getting the stink eye.
So that the feel of them, really nice. They do fan well. They're smooth. They're durable. They feel durable with the shuffle and the
There are 52 cards in a deck of playing cards.
yes.
There are 4 queens, which means that there are 48 presidents. So what president does it stop at?
It stops at Barack Obama.
So
Was
Barack-
the last one that last most recent president.
Okay.
There's another deck of cards that we have that goes a little further and does feature or have a feature of Donald Trump in there, but it's none so far that I've seen that go any further than that.
Right.
Now, these ones, let's see how they fare.
Now these decks come in red and blue.
Yes, for Democrat and Republican.
Yep.
And then black, which I don't know how you can
It's
politically
the-
swing that one.
It's a collector's edition, the black one.
Yeah.
And I always joke when people come in and they buy the red deck. I tell them that all the Democrats have been removed, so it's only like half the deck.
It's a half deck.
So
Pharaohs nicely from the back. The regular riffle shuffle feels nice too. Greg, I'm going to trust you. Would you please go and spring those cards and tell me how they feel?
Ooh, stiff.
They are a bit stiff. They're not. They don't have the same type of feel as some of
that's
our
good.
other cards.
that's not good.
You got to
Yeah,
break
it's
them
good.
in.
Yeah, you just got to warm them up a little bit. They're really stiff though,
They,
compared to what normally is out there nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays you get more decks that have that crush stock feel and they're a bit
Correct.
more malleable. These ones, I do notice that these ones are older, so they don't have the same feel. Oh, one other
They have
thing
a
that
great
you
design on the back too.
yes, they do. One other thing they do have is a double back. The thing that I like about this actually is it has the illusion of a north and south separation, but they actually go and cut it at an angle.
Oh, yeah, with the eagles.
At the eagle wings. And I noticed that it's, even though it looks like, okay, yeah, it's just north and south, up and down, but this, they actually go and make it a little more interesting.
So here's something interesting. A friend of ours, Ken Knorr, who some of you may have heard us speak about, he is a guaranteed 4 hearts kind of guy. Like if he's in a show and you want to force anything and you say, think of a card.
Way to give away
I
the
know.
secret.
Well, we're giving this away to magicians. So think of a card. He will say 4 of hearts. And the 4 of hearts in the presidential deck is Barack Obama. So we could say, think of any president. And we could force the president.
There you go.
So
Well, you think about any president, it's not going to be Barack Obama if it's Mr. Ken.
oh,
I'm
We've lost-
probably going to go and
yeah.
say that with certainty.
We've lost a few listeners over this episode.
Well, I got to say, hold on. The one thing that also doesn't help is that this is the red deck, the Republican one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if.
And
there's-
that is why they came out with red and blue.
yes.
So anyway, that will wrap up that. Ooh,
That is one other weird thing. It's a red deck and a blue deck, but it's the same back
on both sides.
on both decks. It doesn't change at all, and it's. Are they trying to say something?
I don't know, but we're trying to say the show's over
Okay.
before we go any further because your mother is going to be mad at me. So, and Greg is just sitting there going, "Yo."
I'm just gonna lean further and further
Yeah.
and further and further.
There you
back.
go. Anyways, thanks for listening. Don't forget, check out Respecting the Craft, a Facebook group.
If you are interested in this as well, this is a $10 deck here at the White Rabbit Magic
And
Shop.
they had the card queue that was up on the screen that showed them that. So
Yeah, but what about our listening audience?
that's true. That is very true. So $10, Respecting the Craft on Facebook. And on October 8th, Greg will be doing his audition at the Magic Castle. So if any of you are there, go give him a pat on the back, give him a hug, do something, encourage him, and then give him a great big smile when he comes out of the room, because he will be officially a castle member.
Absolutely.
So-
I love it.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
We will be back next week. And I'm hoping that we will have a special guest on. I have not got confirmation yet, but I'm working on it. So we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Abracadabra, hocus pocus, presto. Pick a card, any card. Some words are magic. They sparkle with the promise of something wonderful. But they're still just words until you add that something wonderful to the mix. And that's what you'll find at the White Rabbit Magic Shop in Santa Paula. Their inventory includes world-class tricks and illusions that are not only for sale, but that they will teach you to master. In addition, White Rabbit Magic Shop is world-renowned for its amazing collection of bicycle playing cards, with nearly 500 decks in stock. So, if you're serious about magic, then say it with us. At the White Rabbit Magic Shop, we believe in magic. The White Rabbit Magic Shop, located at 15500 Telegraph Road, Suite B15 in Santa Paula. For more information, please call 805-850-3051 or check us out online at wr-magic.com. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.